Can you tell us about how the backyard and the concessions and concourse extension worked?
Yeah, so I took a walk with the staff just before coming in here, about 45 minutes worth, and I'm amazed. I'm first and foremost just the way our staff is stepped up into this opportunity. And some of them, use Casey Cook as an example, who said, hey, I've been waiting 25 years, literally his entire tenure, and thinking about and envisioning with a whole host of other people, how would we do this? How would we maximize Hoagland to be really the best regional in the country? This will be the best regional in college baseball this season. It just will, in terms of the energy, the storylines, the way this community's stepping up into it, and then the unique things the staff is doing. So you've got the backyard. You guys have heard about that. It's unfinished. So if you go out there now, you go, yeah, that looks like a bad backyard. Give it a few days. They're in the works on that end. The way we're bringing in additional concessions, that we're bringing in additional bleachers, bringing in additional restrooms. Got to do that, right? So we're going to embrace porta potty units this spring. It'll be the best thing we could ask for. Food trucks, the whole deal. Maximizing donor opportunities, maximizing former letter winner opportunities. Make sure we can bring back as many as our great baseball Jayhawks as possible to be part of this thing. It's going to be like nothing I think Lawrence and frankly KU's ever experienced. And I'll get maybe a little bit, somebody could call this over the top, but we've had some special moments in Allen Fieldhouse that's been well documented. We've had some incredible moments of recent years, and you think about ESPN Game Day and Fox Big Noon on the Hill at the old Memorial, and we've had obviously a great season under our belt at the new booth. I think this thing this weekend will rival any sporting event that's happened here in Lawrence at the University of Kansas.
Do you think any of this that's happening out there could be permanent or semi-permanent or kept as part of the plan for anything you might change?
Yeah, I'd expect elements of it to have permanent to it, right? If we roll it back out next year, that aspects will stay fixed, and then I think we'll have learned some things obviously this weekend that will give us a chance to sharpen and then think bigger and bolder about more permanent future state for Hoagland. That's obviously something we're talking about. As far as immediate focus, we are locked in on building an indoor facility for this baseball program. It'll be right there adjacent to the clubhouse, to the locker room, and it will be critical as we, and Fitz most importantly, have prioritized the day-to-day development for this team. And so that's first and foremost, that's our lead emphasis. And then learning through the Hoagland enhancements this spring. And the reality is, guys, is there things we should do and want to do with Hoagland? Absolutely. Is that number one or number two on the immediate need? I think this weekend will show Hoagland's got it. It's got that spark. It's got that magic. We're not trying to match some palace in some other part of the country. And so we're just excited to be gifted, frankly, this opportunity from Coach Fitz and this baseball program to find ways to invest and find ways to make sure this isn't just a one-time opportunity.
You guys have undertaken a pretty big promotional offensive, try to get people to donate and whatnot.
Yeah.
What has the initial response to that been like?
It's been off the charts. I mean, I'd say I can tell we've had multiple gifts of 6 figures or more, right? So 100,000 K or more. Multiple just have sort of naturally come in through that effort. We've had people step up. A group joined us down in Phoenix and Surprise over the weekend that are rising to an unbelievable occasion to make these investments possible. We're going to announce some of those gifts, and then we're going to help use them as catalyst to drive more support back to Kansas baseball. So it's a combination of grassroots, of social emphasis on getting more people engaged, and then of course there's a lot of targeted conversations happening at higher levels for the program.
Travis, you talked about this before, but 2022, just 4 conference wins now, program record. Is this as quick as you would have thought that, Fitz could turn this thing around? And what do you make of the job he's done in the portal?
I think one of the things that I've always enjoyed about the process of bringing the right people in and coaching hires is like, hey, let's just tackle the foundational stuff. And you guys have seen what Fitz and this incredible staff have done just in around the foundational aspects. Creating an identity, right? Who are we? What are we going to be about? What's our culture? And then letting that drive, obviously, their recruiting and player acquisition emphasis. And yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, I think you can rewind 2 years ago going, man, we're seeing this thing happen right in front of our eyes, 2024, and the rapid pace in which it shifted. And then, of course, we all experienced last season, you know, having done something that hadn't been done in a long time. So, yeah, it's way ahead of schedule. There's no other way to describe it. But at this stage, none of us should be shocked with what Dan Fitzgerald and this staff and this team have done and are going to continue to do.
Is there an it factor there? Is there something you see specifically that it's like, you know, no surprise they're, you know, doing
Yeah.
well because he, you know, has this or he's doing this?
Well, I think it's those things that I said, identity, you know, emphasis, obviously well documented, the recruiting approach and then how that fits in terms of culture and chemistry and gritty kind of grinder, so to speak. But the it factor is what you guys just saw. That's the most humble, grateful, high quality human being that any of us are around. We're around a bunch of them. But I'll be honest, until the rest of them to their face, you're not Dan Fitzgerald. That guy's top line, and we can all learn from who he is, his commitment to his family, his faith, his, you know, his way he wants to just pour into people day in and day out. That's just how the guy lives every day.
Those qualities, have you seen them rubbing off on the guys and them being kind of those type of people off the field besides their baseball?
For sure, I think they certainly have a high bar in terms of recruitment, right? They want to get to know them. Are they high character guys? Of course, right? That's like a foundational thing. What I love is the way the guys improve themselves, whether they're here a year, whether they're here multiple years. These guys come in as quality young guys, but they sharpen that in a way that's, I think, rivals anything in college athletics. They can leave this place better human beings. They're going to go be better, you know, citizens in the community. They're going to be great fathers, many of them, great husbands. I mean, you're not just saying that. That's part of what happens day in, day out with this baseball program.
Travis, you tweeted after one of those games, maybe the semifinal, maybe the championship down in Surprise, this team.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, when you look at this team and what they've done, that's obvious, but when you look at what the fans have done too, and then the students, and you've really praised them too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you expected a little bit of this because of the hire you made with Fitz eventually, but
Yeah.
could you have ever expected your students and the support from that group to
Yeah.
be what it is, and what's your perspective on it? I mean, there's gotta be moments where you're a little like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I think you know, one of the things that like I reflect on is it with where the program was, and we could maybe draw a little parallel with football, right? One of the cool things about bringing the right people in and really starting from a baseline in terms of where it was historically or in recent times is everybody gets to feel part of the build. I mean, if we're being honest, like we've got the most special basketball program in the country. No one can get to feel like they're part of a build there, right? You're just part of this unbelievable machine that is Kansas basketball. We look at football over the last 5, and then we look at baseball over these last 4 I guess now. Our fans, our students, our donors, our letter winners are part of something from kind of the ground level. And so I think it creates a really unique connectivity and passion that shows a little bit differently. And so I think that's what's happened here. Like there's students at the watch party today, right? They're not even in school. You know, they came in from other places. At least a chunk of them did. It's because they feel like they have a connective tissue with Coach Fitz and the guys in this program. And I think the department feels that too, right? This department is unified and done everything it could, even if there's subtle things in the margins to help baseball. And now you got a whole department and a whole university that's going, man, we're part of something that's only being done, frankly, right here in Lawrence. So, pretty special.
Travis, you guys started the construction on left field before the regional was announced.
Yeah.
Was any of that like a little bit of a leap of faith, or were you pretty confident that this was going to happen?
Combination, right? I mean, we knew we needed to go do some things and surprise. I thought 1 would pretty well seal it. I knew 2 would. Winning the championship. You watch the seating here, and I'm going, what is that message? Like, are they telling us we had to win the dang thing to be a host? So I just posed the question because I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to take away from that, because we should have had to win the thing to be a host. We'd already done enough, certainly winning 2 games down there, but the guys didn't leave any question. They didn't let it be complex or controversial, right? So long story short, it required a leap of faith. And what I love is, like, I didn't tell the staff to do it. They just did it. Somebody said, hey, we're taking down the wall. I'm like, okay, why? What does that even mean? We're gonna put bodies in the outfield. And that's one of the great things that Fitz in this baseball program has done, is it's helped our department be better in proactively looking at ways to make a difference. So this staff is just doing things on their own with their own confidence to say, we are gonna be prepared. There's nothing that will prevent us from having the best regional experience in the country, and I'm really proud of it.
You mentioned the investment in the program too, and Fitz has talked about how much he enjoys being here, so you feel pretty confident, even with any national speculation that might happen, that he's gonna stick around?
Yeah, again, it starts just with the relationship, sort of human to human, man to man, so to speak, and the connection we have that goes back before even the hired him being here at KU. And then, I said it, somebody asked me this some weeks back, well, what gives you that confidence? Again, it's the human piece first and foremost. It's the part about him and his family having an awareness and a gratitude for what this place is providing them and affording them, and they deserve far more than we've even been able to give them. And then it goes back to, hey, a year ago, like we didn't say, let's do something to check a box. We said, we're doing something for the long haul to make a statement and investing in this program and this staff. And you look at that contract, my hope is it certainly won't be the last one with Dan Fitzgerald at the helm, but it wasn't just because you gotta do it. It was like, long haul, let's lock this thing in. Now we'll continue to be proactive and jump out in front, not because of like some narrative or the landscape, but because that's what is earned and that's what they warrant and have created and built here. So I've got great confidence, and ultimately, like, when you talk about coach retention, they're not all created equally, because you don't always get the information you need on this side. Dan Fitzgerald's not gonna hold anything back in his communication to me about being here for the long haul and what this increased support and investment look like. And so I get a ton of confidence with the quality of the human